It's gone way outside off stump Felix Organ, trying to smash that away on the leg side. Left all three stumps showing, and Moriarty hits. Organ goes for 9.
As in comes Batty again, Weatherly sweeping in front of square. Now he's looking to split the 2 men out. He's split the 2 men out. That's great placement.
Moriarty bowls, and there's the reverse sweep from Weatherly. It's in the air, and Ashim Amler's underneath it. Oh, he's dropped it. Well, it was over his shoulder. It was a difficult one, although I think he might have made it slightly difficult in the last couple of paces. Moriarty bowls on the line, legs up, and that's hit away. It's in the air. Great catch. Oh, what a catch that is by the scoreboard here at the Oval.
As Gareth Batty is in over the wicket once again. Reverse sweep is out from McManus, gone. Reverse swept it straight to Jamie Smith. Just trying something there, McManus. He's got to, but that time he's just hit Jamie Smith at backward point. Atkinson, right arm over the wicket, he comes to Fuller, swinging his Fuller top edge. That'll be our second boundary. That flies over Ben Folkes. Nothing that he could do about that.
Overton, right arm over, comes in and bowls. It's full, and North East strikes it through extra cover. There's 4 more. Lovely shot off the back foot. Fuller this time from Overton.
We'll get to see Mr. Afridi have a bowl soon. It's in over the wicket once again comes Atkinson. Swung down the ground by North East. Gone. Good catch. Down there at long on. It's Will Jacks down there. 69 for 5 as Atkinson's in to Fuller.
Shot!
That is flat for 6. Great shot. It's like a tennis smash, that. I mean, once again, he's had a lot of cricket lately as Afridi. He's in now to Jacks. Jacks drive. Shot on the up. Through extra cover for 4. It's a lovely shot from Will Jacks. Just taken that, basically on the up, bang. Waits again, does Amler. Round the wicket now comes Afridi, and this is Amler on driving, and that's away for 4 more. That is a gorgeous shot as well from Hashim Amler. And it's Will Jacks on strike to Afridi. Afridi's in, and Jacks goes inside out, over extra cover, and away for 4. So it's a good over that for Surrey. Afridi, a little kick of the turf in frustration. Crane is in, and here goes Jacks straight away. Slog sweeping, 1 bounce for 4. So Jacks making his intentions plain straight away. As Crane's in again, and Amler drives, shots her through extra cover for 4. Wonderful bit of batting that from Hashim Amler. Inside out again.
Bowling to Will Jacks. Jacks gives himself some room and eases that over extra cover. And that's 1 bounce for 4. That is 4.
Oh, but that is a hell of a shot. Over the wicket once again is Mason Crane. Oh, now what's this? Bold, I think. Looking for the reverse sweep there was Hashim Amler. Got blindsided by Lewis McManus. 3 needed off 3 balls by Surrey. Ryan Stevenson coming in over the wicket to Will Jacks, swinging top edge and away for 4. And Surrey have their first win of the summer. Their first win in the T20.
If you're just joining us, wherever you're watching in the world, it's great to have you with us. Make sure that you comment on what you're seeing on Facebook Watch and also on YouTube. It'd be great to have your interaction. You're doing so courtesy of My Action Replay, Surrey's streaming partners. They are revolutionising the way in which you can see domestic cricket. And again, wherever you are in the world, it's only domestic to us here in the UK. And it's fantastic, and especially given that fans aren't able to be in stadia right now, for those fans, be they members or simply fans of the club, to be able to consume the content on their beloved Surrey County Cricket Club. So we had the first win of the season. It was against Hampshire by 9 wickets in that rain-affected game. And then, thankfully for Surrey, the reinforcements continued to arrive as well. We heard about Hashim Amler, but also in the form of Laurie Evans and also Rhys Topley from Sussex Sharks, who of course are tonight's opponents, and indeed Jamie Overton from Somerset. And they've all had their part to play. But in fact, in the next game, which was just a few days later, a London derby as part of a Kia Oval doubleheader, which was shown live on Sky Sports here in the UK. It was the spin trio of Dan Moriarty, Gareth Batty, and also Will Jacks, given some responsibility with the ball, who really helped matters. They managed to restrict Middlesex's batsmen to 113 for 9. Now, Surrey's run chase didn't get off to the best of starts. They were 23 for 4 off 5 overs, but they managed to right themselves with Ben Folkes in sparkling form. And in particular another talented youngster here at Surrey, Jamie Smith. Their partnership managed to get Surrey over the line with all of 11 balls to spare. So let's show you now some highlights from that London Derby win, the first part of 2 against Middlesex here at the Kier Oval by 6 wickets.
Sky Sports, feel it all.
News of the toss and the teams is imminent here at the Kier Oval ahead of Surrey against Sussex Sharks. It's Surrey's 8th game in the Vitality Blast South Group and a real opportunity, remember, to get a little bit of daylight at the top of the group and try and get closer to the knockout stages and ideally a home quarter-final. The Mickey Stewart Members Pavilion, you can see it in the background there, is bathed in early evening sunlight, and it's also Mickey's 88th birthday. 26,000 first-class runs for Surrey in a career spanning 18 years, 9 of them as captain, and yes, his name adorning that pavilion there. So where were we? We already had a couple of wins then. Hampshire at home, Middlesex at home, and if you go with the old cliche of Windsor like buses, well, a bit of a traffic jam was starting to build up because the next stop was Chelmsford to take on the reigning champions Essex. Now remember that the reverse fixture here had ended in a tie and there'll be more drama this time around. Essex got off to a flyer with the bat. Cameron Delport and Adam Wheater putting on more than a century in their opening stand, but Surrey then managed to peg them back. Moriarty and Batty sharing 5 wickets. Reece Topley returning figures of 3 for 38 off his 4 overs. And in the run chase, Laurie Evans really came to the party. Once again, it went down to the wire and Surrey managed to win by 4 wickets off the very last ball. Here are the highlights from that game at Chelmsford.
Delport finding a good gap through cover point. Oh, he's sweeping again.
Get over.
Just clearing that man at long leg and getting the 4 off it. I think it was Southampton. Oh, that's a big hit. That's the first 6 of the day. Well, Cameron Delport that's heading out for the river. Oh, Wheater hits it out of the ground with that. That's a glorious slog sweep over the Felsted School stand. Delport swinging, and it's a swing and a miss this time as Amler comes round to pick a fairly simple catch-up. Well, that's a 6 for Wheater, only just because Rory Burns with a desperate dive, Superman style.
210, 215.
Lawrence picks up Atkinson. That's a lovely shot.
Oh, they can hit it, but
Lawrence. Oh, Overton doing really well to get underneath that. That ball was dipping on the big fast bowler. Oh, well, it had to happen at some point. Wheater dancing down the track, missing that one. Moriarty picks up his 3rd wicket. Wheater goes for 63 off 40. Stumped by Ben Folkes. Oh, caught and bowled. Batty right in the face of Paul Walter. And the 4th Essex wicket has gone. Oh, I'm picking that one up, but that's going to be an easy catch. And 2 wickets and 2 balls. Well,
games.
Pepper goes high, but he doesn't go long. And that's another wicket snaffled.
Quite a good ball, Jack. He's oh no.
Oh, he's pulled it round and it's clipped the leg bail. Topley goes full and Tendascarter goes long. Oh, and that's good bowling from Topley. Did him all ends up there. Aaron Ninja, the left armour to start. Bowling to Hashim Amla. What a start!
Oh,
what a start! First ball and Amler is gone. 21, isn't it?
Yeah, very talented.
Jack steps out and didn't get all of that, but gets enough for a 4.
Oh, that's a great shot.
That's a beautiful shot from Evans. There's always a few question marks out there. Jacks goes high over extra cover. Plum dropping his length.
And like you say, Moriarty, he bowled nicely. So I think just pace on the ball here looks like it's going the distance. So I'd like to see just a little bit of...
well bowled Sam Cook. Will Jacks late down on that one.
To come straight in and control it, but well bowled.
Folks, hits a slower ball straight to Paul Walter. And that is the wicket that Essex really wanted. The in-form Surrey wicketkeeper. Reverse sweep. Just clears Tender Scarter for 4 down in front of us here. Very, very evenly contested right now. Deja vu. 6 first ball from one end, 6 first ball from another. That's a great shot from Rory Burns again. Just picking out the gap on that square leg boundary. Drops it, and that is a gimme.
Jesus, that's huge.
That's a buffet ball that's just about got to Molsham Street now and comes down off the roof. Burns goes long, but it's straight to the fielder, and Lawrence gets the wicket. Rory Burns curses himself. Oh, Overton gets it on the full and dispatches it on the full as well. Overton sends it long again, picking up a full bunger once again. It was Cook in the last over, it's Plum in this. Again, it goes through on the full, and again it's deposited over the boundary. Again, it goes high, but this time there's a fielder underneath it, and it's taken by Dan Lawrence. And Overton goes on strike.
Oh, no.
Again, it goes through on the full. Again, it's slashed away. This time, 2 bounce 4.
Young cricketer, actually. I was quite impressed with him in the 4-day game.
Goes high. Delport's underneath it. Plenty of time. Well, Evans back on strike.
Oh, no.
Again, it goes through on the full. Again, it's slashed away. This time, 2 bounce 4. And a no ball, though. Here we go. Hold your breath. Atkinson's up to it. Puts it out over the boundary, and Surrey take the win. Well, Essex bodies desolate at that loss. They came so close. Credit to Surrey.
Well, once again, welcome to our live stream. If you're just joining us, our live coverage of Surrey against the Sussex Sharks in the Vitality Blast South Group. Got around 20 minutes until play gets underway. Remember, this is a crucial fixture for Surrey. Already had 4 wins on the bounce in this competition, 5 in all competitions, and so a chance to really put themselves in command of this South Group should they win tonight. We've now had the toss, and we have news of the teams. As far as the toss is concerned, Surrey have won it, and they're going to have a bowl, and 3 of their 4 victories have come while chasing against Hampshire, Middlesex and Essex. And in terms of the team news, well, Surrey make a couple of changes from the last time that they played, which was that win against Middlesex at Lords. So Ricky Clark and Liam Plunkett come into the side, so plenty of experience there for Gareth Batty, who was out with a hamstring injury, and Laurie Evans, who is ineligible to play as part of the arrangement, the agreement that both Sussex and Surrey came to when the player was transferred between the two. So this is how Surrey will line up. Will Jacks, Hashim Amla, Ben Folkes at 3, Rory Burns, Jamie Smith, Ricky Clark, Jamie Overton, Liam Plunkett will be playing his first game here in the UK since the World Cup final at Lords last summer. Gus Atkinson, Dan Moriarty and Reece Topley. That is their 11. And for Sussex, they will line up as follows. Phil Salt, Luke Wright, Callum McLeod, Delray Rawlins, David Visa, Ravi Bopara, Aaron Thomason, George Garton, Ollie Robinson, Will Beer and Danny Briggs. We're just reliving the winning streak that Surrey have gone on, well, since the start of the season, when they went 7 games winless and now 5 games on the bounce in all competitions. And the last of those came just a couple of days ago as they managed to beat Middlesex. And this was a different type of win, to go top of the group on net run rate, put up a big score and defend it. And the way they did that was largely down to Will Jackson, Hashim Amla putting on 101 in just over 10 overs, a fantastic platform. And then the rest of the top 5 all scored 25 runs or more. And more importantly than that, Rory Burns and Jamie Overton in particular, strike rate of 250, 219 there for the victory target for Middlesex. And they were very much in the game. They're 151 for 2 with 5 overs left, and Stevie Eskenazi, the top run scorer in the Vitality Blast, and John Simpson at the crease. But those partnerships were broken up, and Surrey managed to get there in the end at a canter, and they won this time batting first by 30 runs. So here are the highlights from the latest win in the Vitality Blast.
He knew that he was left stranded as his Helm bowls, and that's punched off the back foot in front of the same fielder, Max Holden, for 4 by Amla, the man that he very nearly ran out when it's full, Lords, as Finn bowls, and over the top goes Amla, over extra cover and up towards that large empty grandstand.
As Murtagh is into, he's jumped outside, the leg stump, shot over extra cover for 6. That is a heck of a shot from Will Jackson.
Middlesex. He's in to the crease now, bowls a slower ball. Oh boy, that was seen early by Jacks, and he has carved it over cover, the back foot punch for 6.
Comes in once more over the wicket to Amla, and Amla, behave, down on one knee and sweeping.
Bowls now, and this has been hit beautifully. How far that's gone a long way, over mid-wicket and over the rope.
Here is Holman. Into Jacks, he's down the pitch again. This could be 6 more, this will be 6 more. That's gone even further. Wow, from Will Jacks. What a way to bring up your 50.
There's certainly 3 out of that 4. This one's in the air. How far has this gone towards the pavilion? It's going to come down just inside the boundary, and will the catch be taken? Oh, second chance. He took 2 goes at taking that, and what a terrific catch and a brilliant take and a breakthrough at last here. It's all funny, right?
Holman is in, and this is up in the air, and it is gone for 6. Davis running around at deep cover,
Mixing it up, a bit of variety. That one's a little quicker and fuller, and it's been punched straight down the ground, and it's going to be a 4.
and he's right arm over the wicket, bowling to Hashim Amla with a big pick up into the onside for 6. Don't worry about that, deep backward square leg
for Surrey.
Souter bowls, and a swing and a miss for Amla. He's gone, bowled by Souter.
Anderson will come over the wicket with a free hit. Rory Burns swings in for 6. So we've had 1 ball now.
I mean, look at where he steps across to off stump there to play that one. Helm, 4th ball of his 3rd over, he's in, and that is whipped in front of the fine leg fielder, who'll make a desperate dive, but in vain. Of his 3rd over, Helm, he comes in, bowls, full of delivery, hits straight to Finn at mid-off, and Burns' cameo comes to an end. An excellent cameo it was, the play. Here's the final over from the pavilion end. It's Helm in, bowls, up in the air, down to long on, and it's Anderson with the catch down below us. I paused for a moment.
In over the wicket comes Finn. Oh, that's 6. That's swung by Overton. That has gone miles. That has gone into the middle tier of the grandstand. New ball, please. Time over the wicket to the right-handed Jamie Overton. Right up on his toes. They'll go for 2. Swung it out towards deep mid-wicket. Will they get back for the 2nd? No. Overton is run out. So that'll be 218 for 4.
Here's Topley to Holden, who top edges one over the keeper. It felt like he needed a little bit of luck to get going. He's got it. He might even get 4. He does. There's 4 Surrey fielders. The keeper, the slip, 3rd man and long leg all converge at exactly the same moment. High score at Lords for 18 overs now. So here's Topley. Bowls, and that's picked up into the onside by Eskenazi for 6. Lovely shot. We've seen that quite a few times from him in the group.
Sweeping on that cover boundary rope as Atkinson is into Holden. Oh, he slapped this straight to Jamie Smith. That's worked out well, because they just put Jamie Smith out there, brought Reece Topley up to 3rd man on the edge of the circle.
For Cracknell, last ball of the over, Overton goes pace again. Oh, that's gone big. Wow, that could be the biggest of the night. That's gone onto the roof of the scorer's box. What a comeback from Cracknell.
Eskenazi on 23 as Moriarty's into him. Here goes Eskenazi sweeping for 6. Great shot from Steve Eskenazi. Left arm round the wicket once again, and this is swung for 6 by Eskenazi. Short delivery.
9 overs gone. And the start of the next over. And this one is worked away behind square on the leg side. Burns will go chasing it, but he won't be able to get to it. It's a boundary for Cracknell. He moves on to 23. And the score on to 80 for 1. I'm not too sure as it should have been. Batty in, bowls. Oh, and a stumping. And Cracknell has gone. He's been stumped for 28. He came down the pitch, beaten by a Batty ball.
Overton past the umpire, bowls, Eskenazi backs away and pulls to deep mid-wicket. Oh, goodness me, that was a great attempt out there by Burns. Diving full stretch to his left, it hit the rope, so it's gone for 6. But a fabulous effort by Burns.
We're in the 12th over. Batty in a little quicker. It's gone a long way over mid-wicket and cow corner. That's into the boards. It's another 6.
Inside the 30-yard circle as Overton comes in now. He bowls, and that goes big over extra cover for 6. Huge shot into the grandstand, about 4 or 5 rows back. Here is Moriarty's left arm around from the nursery end, and that goes big. Is it big enough? Yes. Well, everybody hesitates. As Moriarty makes a quick couple of steps to go in. Simpson goes big. He's going to go, though. It goes up in the air and taken at backward points. He's gone for 31 from 18. 151 for 3.
Overton is in to Eskenazi. Well bowled, right up there. Oh, he's going to have a shy run out. Eskenazi run out. Overton off his own bowling. Brilliant bit of work. Swung round. But he's settled in quite quickly as Moriarty bowls, and down the track he comes, doesn't get all of this, and long off comes in and takes a fine catch on the move.
Well, if you just joined us here at the Kia Oval, you've arrived at a very opportune moment, whether you're watching on Facebook Watch or on YouTube or indeed KiaOval.com. We're joined right now by the Surrey and England batsman, Ollie Pope. Ollie, it's great to see you, although admittedly I would hope it to be in better circumstances. You're obviously out of action at the moment. Just tell us how the shoulder operation went and how your recovery's been going.
Yeah, the op went well. As far as I know, I'm seeing the surgeon again on Tuesday, sort of 10 days post-op now. So yeah, it's frustrating, it's annoying. It feels a whole season without being able to pull on a Surrey shirt is very frustrating. But yeah, I guess the road to recovery is sort of, it'll feel like a fairly long one, but I've got a few goals to sort of strive towards now.
I was going to say, I mean, at the start of the season we really missed you because couldn't get a win for love nor money. Then suddenly 4 wins in a row in the Vitality Blast. That's another one in the Bob Willis Trophy against Sussex as well. It has been some turnaround. So maybe they don't miss you quite as much right now. But I'm just interested in terms of the recovery. Obviously, it's a shoulder injury, but it must affect the whole of your body, I guess, in terms of what you can and can't do. So what have you been able to do in terms of recovery?
Yeah, not a great deal so far. It's been sort of 4 weeks without actually doing any sort of exercise. Until this afternoon, actually, I could hop and sit on the watt bike for half an hour, which was nice. Just probably more from a mental point of view to be able to just to feel like you've done something.
Yeah.
But no, I guess with the drugs after and post operation, I felt pretty tired, and so I've spent a fair bit of sofa. But now I think I'm seeing the surgeon on Tuesday, like I said. Then hopefully I can get back in the gym and start getting some slow movements into the shoulder and sort of start upping the watt bike sessions and then have a few months of just sort of getting the fitness back.
And it's been a bizarre time, hasn't it? Because the last time I spoke to you, it was live on Sky Sports News, and we were in lockdown, right? And you were just at home trying to do what exercise you could, and then you went into the bubble, and you were with England across those Test series against West Indies and Pakistan, and some decent scores there. I think the last Test against the Windies, the first Test against Pakistan. But what was that like in terms of how mentally taxing and just how difficult it was to deal with in that sense?
Yeah, honestly, I did find it tough, and I think a lot of the lads will say the same. We were in there for pretty much 10 weeks, I think, with the Test stuff, and then obviously the one-day boys have gone back in, and so it's not easy mentally, especially when things don't quite go to plan, which happens in cricket. Fortunately, we only lost one game, so I guess we got that bit out of the way early doors. And naturally, when you're winning games and you score some runs or the lads take some wickets, things feel okay no matter what you're doing. But when you do miss out with the bat and you sort of have a few rough days, and you're back in your hotel room 20 minutes after nicking off in the last over of the day, and you're back looking over the ground when you just want to escape to be honest, you want to escape for an evening and just try and switch off or go go see the family. But so it's got its challenges. It was great to be able to spend so much time with the lads and sort of get to know each other inside out, and you get some friendly competition and table tennis, a bit of pool, and we had a few things to keep us occupied.
And brilliantly, and it did so well on social media, the football bin challenge. So I think you got the assist, didn't you? You had the little cheeky back header for Wood to nod it in. But tell me honestly, how many takes did that take?
Plenty. we were out there for... So
this was in a rain delay against Pakistan at Old Trafford, wasn't it?
Yeah, it started, we were just doing a few headers, and when we tried to sort of basketball dunk it into the bin, and then, then 5 or 6 of us were out there, and we tried to make a little comp of it, and it was good. It was good fun, and those sort of things, you need them to keep you going and keep sort of off the pitch, have a bit of friendly banter and just something to do that's just not cricket.
And sticking with that kind of lighter tone and off the pitch, I mean, when you were with us on Sky Sports News, you introduced us to Dexter, your dog, and I hear that the family is growing. So can you give us some breaking news on what the new recruit is going to be?
Yeah, well, we got the big news is the Dexter's a family dog. We got Bracken as well. She's an older girl. She's another family dog, and I've got the responsibility of having my own puppy as of 3 weeks. Which is exciting.
This is a responsibility, Ollie. You realise that word is key.
I know. I've been made pretty clear by Mum. She made sure I know what's going to hit me with these 5 a.m. wake-ups. But it'll be nice to have a bit of a distraction other than just being in the gym. I'll take him, put him in the corner.
What breed?
If the chairman lets me. Golden Retriever.
Absolutely classic choice. It's up there in my top 3 dogs. No, that's great to hear. But let's talk Surrey, shall we? Because obviously, as I mentioned, there's been this turnaround. How has that come about? As I say, 7 games without winning all comps, now 5 on the bounce, and a real chance of steamrolling through to quarterfinals and maybe even beyond in the Vitality Blast.
Yeah, I think I like to put it down. I think winning's a habit. You get one win and you remember how to win games. I think we had that tie against Essex, and I was here actually watching, and in my mind, because we weren't on our best form and we had lost a few games prior to that, in my mind I just had to see us over, even though, and we should have won the game. It was a massive missed opportunity, and I'm sure if we're in that same situation on a winning run, we would have just easily got over the line. So I think winning is a habit. You learn a formula, you learn how to play at your own ground on these pitches, and I think. And we've been lucky enough to have Burnsy and Folks have come back out of the bubble. We've obviously got our new signings, and I think there's a lot of talent there, and then a lot of things have sort of clicked together, and winning, like I said, is a habit, and we're on a bit of a run at the moment.
Let me just recap the Surrey team if you haven't heard how Surrey are lining up. There's a couple of changes. So Ricky Clark is in, Liam Plunkett is in, Gareth Batty is injured, has a hamstring injury, so he makes way, as does Laurie Evans, who is ineligible for this game because of the agreement between Surrey and Sussex Sharks. So in full, this is the Surrey team. It will be Will Jacks, Hashim Amla opening the batting, Ben Folks at 3, Burns at 4, we would imagine, Jamie Smith, Jamie Overton, Liam Plunkett, Gus Atkinson, Dan Moriarty and Reece Topley. I just want to actually focus very briefly, especially because you're cut from the same cloth, if you like, on the youngsters, because you've got some incredible experience, the likes of Gareth Batty and Rory Burns coming back, as you say, but what about Gus Atkinson with the ball? What about Dan Moriarty and how he's only just come into the team this year and already has taken key wickets and been so important in this competition? He's taken the 3rd most wickets in T20 Blast.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, those guys, I'm not sure they necessarily thought at the start of the season they would have had these opportunities to come and play in the first team so soon and get such a consistent run. So it's great for them. Two of my good mates here. So I'm really happy for them, and it just shows that they would have gained a massive amount of confidence from this, doing well against some seriously good players. So yeah, it's great to see.
Gus Atkinson also proving his worth with the bat in recent games too. Against Essex at Chelmsford, needed to score off the last ball, hit it for 4. Scoring 10 runs off 5 balls. So he's proving his worth as a batter as well. And Jamie Smith too. We know that he can produce. He's already managed to do that on pre-season before. But what about him in terms of, in that game against, I think it was against Middlesex first time around, it was him and Ben Folks, and they produced this wonderful partnership. I mean, everyone is coming to the table. Everyone is bringing something to this party, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Smithy's a seriously good player. His numbers are only going to get better and better. The way he bats, he's obviously got a lot about him. He's massively rated here, but also outside, you hear even the England guys have sort of probably seen snippets of him playing and think this guy looks a serious player. So I think that run chase summed him up. He's got a wise head in his shoulders for his age especially. So he's an exciting one to watch.
Sussex lost their last game, but they also suffered the loss of both Chris Jordan, who's gone into the bubble in the UAE ahead of the IPL, and also T-Mal Mills, who pulled up with a bit of a back injury in that game and misses this one. So those are two big blows in terms of their bowling attack, which had been much feared. Obviously, they've still got the spinner Danny Briggs to contend with. But in terms of their top six, have a look at this. Phil Salt, Luke Wright, Callum McLeod, Delray Rawlins, David Visa, Ravi Bopara need to make inroads there as Surrey bowl first.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Salt's obviously very dangerous at the top of the order. Wright's been in some seriously good form. I think Delray was 60 not out of 30 the other night, so he's another dangerous player, and they've got the experience of Visa as well. So it's a good lineup, but hopefully we can get a few early breakthroughs and get into them early.
We talked a bit about winning being a habit, but also how much does previous sort of head-to-head count here? Because it was that first win. I mean, beating Sussex in the Bob Willis Trophy for that first win in the group, even though it was the last game and it didn't count for much. But how much does that actually count here? That the previous fixture at Hove was a washout. Was, you know, Sussex managed to get 116 for 5, I think it was, and then it was just called off after that. So we haven't lost to them. We've actually beaten them in the Bob Willis Trophy. So does that play much of a role or not really?
I don't necessarily think so. Team by team. I think it's probably more the games running into this game. T20, there's a lot of crazy things can happen out there. It's such a short game. All it is one player having a day out on either side, and they can just completely change the course of it. So I wouldn't say necessarily, but should be an exciting one.
Well, it absolutely should be. And you've got the top run scorer in domestic T20 cricket as well, Luke Wright, and he said that it would be great for them to try and win this trophy, at least make finals day for Jason Gillespie, because of course he's departing as their head coach. But how do you keep someone like Luke Wright quiet? Because, you know, if he gets going, he really does get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with someone like him, he's obviously in a good bit of form. I've seen him get a couple of 80s on the TV. He's good on the short ball, and he's dangerous down the ground as well. So hopefully if you don't get him early, then you've just got to try and nail your Yorkers and try and nail your change-ups as well. And hopefully we've got a pretty big we're pretty central today, so there's some big boundaries to try and take on. So.
Well, I was just going to ask you about that. It's been, you know, Surrey's tactic here to use that middle strip to try and make the boundaries as big as possible, to negate the bigger hitters, of which Surrey do have some. I mean, Sussex do have some. We've mentioned a little bit, you know, the likes of Phil Salt and Luke Wright in particular. We know that David Visa can also get runs. We know now that, you know, they're trying to negate their big hitters, but spin plays a big role as well, doesn't it? We know this, and obviously they don't have Scott Borthwick in this game, and it's going to be down to Dan Moriarty and Will Jacks, two young guys, one of whom perhaps wasn't even expecting the responsibility to bowl 4 overs. So how much of a role do you think that could play? We've got the paceman in there, absolutely, but a lot of responsibility on those two spinners, surely.
Yeah, especially so far on the pitches that we played on so far. They have spun and have been slightly slower. This is a newer wicket. I'm not sure how it's going to play. So if it does offer a little bit of spin, yeah, they'll play a massive role in this game.
When you hear the music, the walkout tunes, and you see the players walking out onto the field of play, do you miss it?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't played enough cricket to be sick of it just yet. It's a shame there's not sort of 20,000 in as well. That would make me miss it even more. But 100%. I do get very jealous when they're playing and I'm just sat here with it. But that's sport, I guess. That's part of it.
It is surreal, though. It is T20 cricket without a crowd. But, of course, we hope that situation improves fairly soon. Ollie, it's been an absolute delight speaking to you. Thank you very much. So, as you've seen, Surrey have won the toss. They've elected to bowl first. So our commentators, Adrian Harms and Mark Church, let's join the commentary now.
Surrey live stream for commentary, and also run ragged between the wickets as well. If you run hard, you can pick up 2s and 3s on this ground. It's going to be Reece Topley with our first delivery. He's coming in over the wicket from this, the Vauxhall end, left arm over to Phil Salt, who's looking to pull him off the front foot. Bottom edge onto his front pad, rolls straight back up the pitch. And Reece Topley does the fielding off his own bowling. And there is no run. They got the slip in there. There's third man on the edge of the circle. The backward point. There's a cover. There's mid-off Liam Plunkett. Long on his Will Jacks. There's a deep backward square. Hashim Amla stood on the edge of the circle at fine leg. As Topley, left arm over the wicket he comes. To the right hand is Salt, who's forward, opens the face, guides this one down to third man. And the throw comes in from Dan Moriarty. And there is no run. So, yeah, as I say, you've got to play cute here. You've got to be able to knock balls into gaps and run hard. You'll see a lot of hard running tonight. And then against the spinners, if you're going to go big, you're going to have to get all of it. because they are huge boundaries, using the entire ground again. As in over the wicket comes Topley, and back of a length, Salt's going to take the quick single, pushing this one up to Liam Plunkett at mid-off, and that means Sussex are up and running this evening, having been stuck in by Surrey here on BBC Surrey, BBC Sussex, BBC Radio London and on DAB. Salt has won, and Luke Wright, who I think it's fair to say, Mr. Harms, is in fairly good nick looking at his stats this season.
He's been in terrific form in this, and you know, you tend to think when Luke makes runs, Sussex go well in this competition, and he's been in really good form, and he'll be delighted to have his old sparring partner Phil Salt at the other end, because these two can get Sussex off to a flyer.
Yeah, I was looking at his stats. 305 runs, strike rate 150. Salt now 108 runs, strike rate of 191. Actually, I think it's fair to say four players for Sussex have done most of the scoring. As in over the wicket comes Topley. First ball for Luke Wright. He's cutting, and it's just past a diving Rory Burns at backward point, and runs away for our first boundary of the evening. So Luke Wright's up and running. It's always a worry for the opposition when he jumps onto the back foot and cuts his first ball for 4.
Yeah.
And Sussex are 5 without loss.
Yeah, and it's a favourite shot for Luke Wright. And then, you know, Reece Topley was down at Sussex last year, left at the end of the season. So Luke Wright will know exactly all about Reece Topley, and vice versa, of course.
Topley's in again to the right-handed right. It's a short ball down the leg side. Wide will be the signal from umpire Ian Gould, and that's taken above his left shoulder by Ben Folkes. Bit of pace in that delivery from Reece Topley, and Luke Wright having nothing to do that. Yet the 4 I'm talking about, Wright 305 runs, Visa 231, Rawlings 177, and then Salt 108, all at strike rates up or about 150. As Topley in over the wicket to Luke Wright, and that's a length delivery. Wright's forward, turns this one into the leg side. Topley does the fielding off his own bowling, and there's no run.
Yeah, I think you're right. Those 4 have really carried Sussex in this competition. The one player who hasn't really fired with the bat, perhaps surprisingly, is Ravi Bopara.
Well, the one thing I would say about Mr. Bopara is he does like it here. He likes the test ground, he likes the big boundaries. He's the sort of cute player that I'm talking about, Ravi Bopara. Maybe tonight's the night, as Topley's into Luke Wright, and that swings a touch as Wright turns it leg side into Gus Atkinson. There's no run. End of the first over then, here on BBC Surrey, BBC Sussex, BBC Radio London, and on DAB, of course. Sharks 6 without loss.
Yep, myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Mark Church. Just to bring you up to date, Church, was mentioning the games in the Southern Group earlier on today. Essex beating Hampshire by 54 runs down at the Ageas Bowl. Hampshire have had a miserable time in this competition. Essex will still think they've got an outside chance of a 3rd place. They've got 2 games left to go. The final one of theirs is against Sussex at Chelmsford on Sunday. And a bit of a surprise down at Canterbury, where Middlesex beat Kent by 2 runs. What that does is bring Middlesex into the mix as well. They'll think if they can win their last 2 games, they might qualify, and their next game is against Sussex at Hove. That game comes up on Friday, so it's all very close. So Phil Salt is taking strike, and it's going to be Will Jacks who's going to come in from the pavilion end. Bowls to Phil Salt. Well, that looks very out. It is indeed. Playing all around a straight delivery there was Phil Salt, and he's on his way, and that's a massive blow for Sussex. And a big blow for Surrey as well. Absolutely plumb. I mean, the umpire sure was just waiting to put his finger up, but he was absolutely bang in front. We're seeing it again on the replay. Well, it's absolutely out. He was looking to swing that one away over mid-wicket. And Phil Salt, who's been stuck up in the England bubble for a week or 2 now, comes back, and he's on his way for Sussex, and that's a big blow for the Sharks.
Yeah, what you've got to say there is Phil Salt didn't even have a look at Will Jacks. He's just gone after him, first ball with the slog sweep, and yeah, it looked out from here, and we're behind Phil Salt, so that's a huge wicket for Surrey. To get one of those big 4 out early is massive. And again, Will Jacks, this role that he's taken on now, and we were talking about it before we came on air, the fact now he's got this string to his bow. You know, he is opening in every game now for Surrey with his off spin. It's a huge asset to Will Jacks' game, and that's a massive wicket, and the Sharks 6 for 1.
And this is a change in the batting order, because Aaron Thomason, who opened in the game against Essex earlier on in the week, was due to come in at number 7, but he's up at number 3. That could be because it's the power play, as in comes Jacks. Right time over the wicket bowls, and Thomason works that down the ground and picks up a single. He's on his way. He goes to 1, and the Sharks to 7 for 1.
He might play slightly differently than the way he played here in the Bob Willis Trophy game, where of course he opened in the. He did very well in the 4-day game, didn't he? As a sort of makeshift opener. But yes, I think here it's put back to ball. But again, sorry to mention it, it's the last time I will this evening. You have got to be cute here. You really, as a batsman, you have to be cute. You cannot bang every ball out the ground because the outfield's so big.
In comes Jacks again, bowls, and right rather feels for that outside the off stump, plays it to backward point, fielded by Reece Topley, who's down on his knees, but he prevents the single, and it's a dot ball. The Sharks 7 for 1. Luke Wright on 4. Phil Salt already back in the pavilion, just for 1, as in comes Jacks again, and Luke Wright is down the wicket and plays that down to long on, picks up a single, does Luke Wright. He goes to 5 and the Sharks to 8 for 1. If you want to get in touch with us, then you could tweet us at BBC Sussex Sport or at Back and Across, or you can email us sussexcricket@bbc.co.uk, as Will Jacks just makes an adjustment to his field, and he's now got a deep back.
So books before wicket for Phil Salt. 21 for 2. And they cross, so Luke Wright's back on strike as Topley is in over the wicket to right and covers up, turns into the leg side, no room to work with that. Good bowling again from Reece Topley, good over this from Reece Topley. End of the over, 3 gone, and the Sussex Sharks are 21 for 2. Here it is again, I'm just seeing it on the BBW, straight in his box.
You're absolutely
so,
right.
He's in front, it's hit him in the nether regions, bang in front. So Phil Salt had to go. And Sussex might have to just do a little rebuild job here with McLeod and Wright at 21 for 2 after 3 overs.
Well, Jacks, despite picking up that wicket with the first ball that he bowled, has been taken out of the attack. We've got a change of bowling, and it's going to be Gus Atkinson, who's going to come in from the pavilion end. The oval just looks fabulous. This ground, the floodlights are on. The new Peter May stand is sort of always going up. It always seems to have progressed since I was here last week, Churchy. That's going to be ready for next season. The old pavilion right in front of us. Floodlights on. The ground looks immaculate. And well, what a wonderful setting. As in comes Atkinson, right arm over the wicket, coming into bowl to Callum McLeod, who plays this firmly straight back down the track, and Atkinson fields off his own bowling, and there is no run. 2 fielders outside of the 30-yard circle is what you have to have in the first 6 overs. This is the power play, for those of you listening who aren't familiar with this format of the game. Third man and a deep backward square are those 2 fielders, as Atkinson in his light blue duck egg shirt runs in towards us and bowls, and McLeod works this 2 backward point, and again there is no run, fielded there by Jacks, and a good solid start here by Surrey.
Yeah, very good. They've sort of worked out their way of playing T20 cricket, and they're sticking to it, and I think what's done them the power of good, but you know, they're against a very good Sussex side tonight, of course, but it's the 2 wins away from here I think did them the power of good.
21 for 2 as the Sharks, as in comes Atkinson bowls. That's shorter, and McLeod just have to wait and see whether you've got a little nick on that onto the thigh pad, or whether it was a leg bye, and the umpire signals that is a leg bye. So the Sharks go to 22 for 2, and that brings Luke Wright on strike, and Luke Wright will know, as he so often does in T20 matches, that a huge responsibility lies with the skipper. He's on 14. Sussex 21 for 2, with Salt and Thomason already back in the pavilion for 1 and 5 apiece. But Atkinson waits at the far end of the ground, the pavilion end, and now is on his way to bowl to the Sussex skipper. He's in and bowls, and Wright tucks inside the line, plays into the offside, and that's a well-judged single. Ricky Clark coming in from cover to field, but the batsmen were through for a comfortable single, and Wright goes to 15 and the Sharks to 23 for 2.
Must say that we'll be joined at some point this evening by Mr. Kevin Howes,
Good.
of course, who's here for BBC Radio 5 Live. So Mr. Howes said he'll come and join us at some stage this evening, which will be an absolute joy as always.
Absolutely. In comes Atkinson again, running towards us. He's in and bowls, and McLeod, well, is it fair to say that was a bit of a nothing shot really outside of the off stump? He looked as if he was looking to play into the offside, then he seemed to change his mind, and the ball whistled past the outside edge and taken by Ben Folkes, and there is no run. That was an indifferent shot.
He's sort of indicating to Luke Wright it kept low on him, but I don't think it did. I think it was just he didn't go anywhere on the crease. He sort of just stood there, and I don't think he was quite sure whether he was trying to cut that or run it down to third man.
Atkinson again is on his way. In bowls, and McLeod up on his toes and plays this down towards third man. They've taken one. Topley is quickly round. They'll look for 2 here. The throw comes in. This could be tight. Oh, well, the throw wasn't. Ben Folkes had to fetch the throw a little bit, and he dropped the ball anyway.